pocket, yeah?
No.
I think you're wanted, by the way, Billy. Let me get out of it. Alright, I'm not going to...
No, I know you're not. Start running and prattling around. Stay there. Right.
Two men who once strutted the streets of Wisbech like kings, draped in designer clothes, weighed down by watches worth more than most people's rent, and fueled by a river of drug money, have finally had their criminal empire torn apart in dramatic fashion. Fred Cook, who's 22, and Billy Venemore, who are 20, thought they were untouchable. They weren't just drug dealers, they were orchestrators of chaos, feeding Class A into the veins of their town whilst cloaking themselves in luxury and lies. But the house of cards built on addiction, fear and fraud has come crashing down with a thunderous fall that echoes through every street they once claimed as their own. The beginning of the end came on the 25th of May 2023, a day like any other until fate intervened. Police patrolling Church Terrace, a known drug dealing hotspot, spotted Venemore acting suspiciously. A routine stop and search became the unraveling thread of a vast and calculated network. The contents of his phone, seemingly ordinary at a glance, were in reality the digital skeleton key to a sprawling web of criminal activity. At first, he walked free, released under investigation, but he wouldn't stay free for long. The phone he carried betrayed him completely. It was a diary of dirt, coded text, delivery routes, instructions from higher-ups, and warnings about police patrols. Venemore was no petty runner. He was the trusted foot soldier of a larger, darker empire, Cook's empire. 2 months later, the net closed tighter. Venemore was arrested again, this time with enough digital evidence to blow the lid off their operation. But to take down the kingpin, police had to look beyond the street corners and into the countryside to the quiet, affluent road. On the 19th of June 2023, officers stormed Cook's home. Inside, they found a world built entirely on the suffering of others. Designer watches glittered like trophies, expensive shoes still in boxes, litter on the floor. Fashion labels from the world's top brands hung from rails in pristine condition. A cash counter sat ominously in plain sight, surrounded by receipts of luxury tags. In the glove compartment of his car, hundreds of pounds in notes. This wasn't just drug money, it was Cook's twisted version of success. But it wasn't his wardrobe that doomed him, it was once again his phone. His phone was a Pandora's box of evidence. Hundreds of messages reveal that Cook didn't just supply drugs, he ran a mobile empire. He coordinated every move, every drop-off, every sale. He was the commander, the puppeteer, and Venemore, loyal and eager, was his blade on the streets.
Currently, you're all detained for Section 23 Misuse of Drugs Act search. You don't have to say anything.
I've got a bit of cannabis on me.
Have you?
Yeah.
Come here. Right, Billy, I mean it. Stay there, okay?
Yeah.
You got him, Josh?
I'm not trying to restrain you, sir.
You ain't got nothing on, yeah?
No. So I'm not trying to fight back with you or nothing.
Yeah, I know. Get up.
I've got a balloon in the pocket, yeah?
No.
I think you're wanted, by the way, Billy. Let me get out of it. Alright, I'm not going to...
No, I know you're not. Start running and prattling around. Stay there. Right. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you both the same thing. You're both detained under Section 23 Misuse of Drugs Act. That is for a search. You are not free to go. I am PC 1178, David Levitt, based at Wisbech Police Station. My colleague here is...
CC 979 Crown.
Okay, this area is known for drug dealing, drug supply and such as. Okay, you've both been seen on the bench here. You've been messing around with your nos and your balloons and all that kind of stuff, okay? So that's why you're going to be searched, to see if we can find any more drugs on you.
I've got a little bit of cocaine that I was sniffing.
Have you? Where is that?
In my front pocket, officer.
Front pocket. Jump up for me, Billy.
Take my man bag off for me and then you search it. Alright.
Anything else on you, mate? Just that.
I've got a little bit of cannabis, a joint in my...
A little bit of cannabis, a little bit of cocaine.
I'm not going to lie.
There's no point, mate. So let's sort it out.
How it goes.
Stand back!
There you go, please, buddy.
What is wrong?
Stick your kegs on, bud.
What's going on, mate?
Good man. You all covered up? Yeah.
Lovely. This time you're under arrest. Okay.
Yeah, for what?
Concerning supplier Class A,
Yeah.
concerning supplier Class B, and possession of criminal property. Okay, so you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You do not mention when questioned, something which relates to relying in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand all that, mate? Okay, time is 07:37. Do you want to grab some clothes, buddy? Again, like I said, it doesn't help.
I'll pay for the order. See you later. You pick me up, Dad, yeah?
Also, with regards to Cook, the darkness of Cook's mind didn't stop at drugs when Norfolk police pulled him over in Downham Market in August 2023. They uncovered another sinister layer, £1,000 in cash and evidence of fraud, so deep it defied belief. Cook had been harvesting real people's details, crafting fake car insurance policies, inserting himself as a phantom second driver, and dodging fines by giving false identities. Speeding tickets not his, insurance claims someone else's problem. It was a spider's web of manipulation, and he was a spider at the centre. Ultimately, Cook pleaded guilty to a sprawling list of charges that painted a picture of a man addicted not just to money but to power. So he was concerned to supply of crack, cocaine, heroin and cannabis, offering to supply ecstasy, possessing an offensive weapon, acquiring criminal property, 5 counts of fraud, 3 counts of perverting the course of justice and 2 counts of supplying items for use in fraud. Venemore, caught in his mentor shadow, pleaded guilty to supplying Class A, and then came their reckoning. A hunt in the law courts, the two men faced the weight of their crimes, and the courtroom, silent and tense, watched as justice was delivered. Billy Venemore, just 20 years old, was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months in prison. His youth, once a shield, now his downfall. And Fred Cook, the self-styled boss, received 5.5 years. His designer life had been swapped for a prison cell. His kingdom lay in ruins. Detective Constable Joshua Crown, who helped lead the investigation, spoke with gravity. He said these men turned homes, parks and shop fronts into marketplaces for misery. They strutted through our streets believing they were safe behind screens and status, but no amount of wealth or arrogance can shield you from the consequences of poisoning a community. This was not just justice for the victims of addiction, this was justice for every parent afraid to let their child play in the park, for every resident who watched their neighbourhood change. A proceeds of crime hearing now looms on the horizon, and soon the luxury Cook wore like armour will be stripped away from him entirely. Watch his shoes, every blood-stained thread gone. Their downfall sends a chilling message to anyone walking their path. No street corner is too quiet, no lie too clever, no empire too big to fall. Cook and Venemore wanted to rule the streets. However, now they rot behind bars, their legacy nothing more than shattered illusions and a warning to all who think that they are above the law, when in fact you are not.